tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Hi everyone, welcome to Dhamma Earth's Dose of Dhamma, and this is your dose of Dhamma for the day. So there is another question regarding the first stanza. So it is Bhante, for venerating elders. If our elders are people who do not behave properly, then how should we venerate, or how do we face, or how do we relate to them? How do we live out these blessings when in regards to them? Right? It's a very good question and very practical question, isn't it so? So for our elders, if they are people who do not behave properly, actually we can face them with loving kindness. This is one thing. We can relate to them with compassion, wishing them to be free from suffering. Because if they are not behaving properly, then definitely there will be some defilements that will arise in them. They will experience negative emotions, a lot of defilements of the mind, which will torture them and cause them mental suffering. So we can have compassion for them also. And another way is to think of the good that they have. Like we have said earlier, sometimes a person is not 100% foolish and a person is not 100% wise all the time, right? So when they are 90% foolish, then at least we should appreciate that 10%. And sometimes we should encourage that 10%, help them to develop that 10% up to 20, 30, 40, 50 and etc. Because when we want to guide people, or when we want to help people, what is the meaning of help? That means you want to bring them from position of or a situation of difficulty to a situation of non-difficulty, right? To a better situation, isn't that so? From a situation of suffering to a situation of less suffering. From a situation of less suffering to a situation of no suffering. That's what helping is, right? That's what we do when we help people, right? But sometimes when we help people, a lot of traditional ways is to always focus on their bad, on the things they have done wrongly, and criticize and keep pushing them, poking them in the places where they have done wrong, and keep expecting them to change after you have told them off. But how many % of the time does telling them off really works? In the end, it's just destroying relationships. It's not helping them. It's not helping us either, because when we tell them off, we get into a state of negative emotions too, right? If we are not trained in our mind, right? So it doesn't really, actually it doesn't really help them. Sometimes, okay, for some people, it can be helpful. But if telling them off doesn't work, then sometimes we have to help them in another way. Isn't that so? So another way is to encourage and appreciate the good things, the good characters, the good qualities, the good action, speech and thoughts that they have. And we try to encourage and we help, and we, if possible, we help them to develop. Then they become a better person, right? They don't have to be Buddhist to live out the Buddhist principles. Isn't that so? If somebody, they may be from another religion, but they are associating with the wise, then we also feel happy for them, right? It's not like a certificate or a identity that, I'm a Buddhist, I cannot help other people or what. No, it's not like that. Dharma is not like that. Isn't that so? So when we are relating to elders who maybe most of the time do not behave themselves, who are engaged in ways, in actions, speech and thoughts of unwholesomeness, but at least for us as a disciple of Buddha, and to live out this blessing, we can relate to them with loving kindness. We wish for them to be happy. We can relate to them with compassion. We wish for them to be free from suffering and free from doing the causes of suffering. And we can also try to appreciate, try to find out what are their good qualities that they are having now, and how can we help them improve if it is possible. When we can do this, and if we exchange, if we change the fault-finding mind to a good quality finding mind, then you will be able to find that you will be able to respect everyone in the world. Why? Because everyone, like we said, we mentioned before, there's no 100% foolish person, there's no 100% wise person except for Buddhas and noble ones. So, since we are living in the world which is like this, people are a mix of angels and devils, then we should really, it is very beneficial for us to be able to develop the quality of finding good qualities in people and appreciating them and lifting them up from that point sometimes. Okay? So you don't have to be angry if your elders are people who are engaged in unwholesomeness. You don't have to reject them. Just relate to them, just be friendly, have loving kindness, have compassion to them, and appreciate their good points. And sometimes when you relate to them like this may be a turning point where they are able to be lifted up by your encouraging words. But it takes time, of course. When you try to apply this, it's also good to apply the 4 clear comprehensions, which is, okay, if you try to encourage them, is it suitable? Is it beneficial? Then after that you have to consider, is it suitable? And then you have to consider, okay, what is the ultimate goal that we want to do this? What is the wholesome goal that we want to do this? And we have to keep working on the goal and not deviate from the goal. This beneficial goal, this wholesome goal. It has to be wholesome goal, okay? Then we also understand that they are impermanent, suffering, non-self. We are also impermanent, suffering, non-self. Their evil ways are also impermanent, suffering, non-self. We ourselves are also impermanent, suffering, non-self. So, since it is impermanent, then there must be a way, a situation that we can help them in. Maybe not now, maybe sometime after. But if we maintain a good relationship with them, with metta, with loving kindness, with compassion, then when they need our help, when they have realized that the ways that they were doing were not so good, it leads to suffering, then the channel for them to seek help from us is available. But if you reject them, if you're angry with them, if you try to push them away from your life, yes, you may benefit from that, but sometimes after that, if they suddenly they realize their mistakes and they want to change, but they find that nobody is helping them. So for us as Buddhists, it is good if we can practice this way to the elders or even to our friends who are engaged in unwholesome ways. Have loving kindness, compassion, and try to find their good qualities and try to bring them up from their good qualities. Then in this way, it will be a more harmonious, peaceful environment, and you can be of help. You can be friendly even to people who behave in an undesirable way. Of course, it takes patience. It takes time to train our qualities. And it takes a lot of loving kindness and compassion to be able to do it. But that's why it is called training of the mind, isn't it so? Okay? So, for venerating elders who are not behaving properly, this is how we can relate to them. Hopefully this Dharma is beneficial to all of you. And may the Triple Gem bless all of us to be able to overcome all obstacles in life in the practice, and also to be able to purify our mind with Dhamma, and also may the Triple Gem bless all of us to attain path, fruition and Nibbana as soon as possible. May all of you be well, peaceful and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.